What if I told you that one of the most powerful dynasties in NFL history just had their worst season in over a decade, and somehow they might be more dangerous right now than they've ever been? Yeah, let that sink in. Just a few months ago, the Kansas City Chiefs, the team that owned the NFL for years, limped to a 6-11 record. 6 wins, 11 losses, their first losing season since 2012. No playoffs, no championship run, nothing. The dynasty looked cracked. Some people were already writing them off. But here's what those people don't understand about the Kansas City Chiefs. They don't panic, they rebuild. And when Brett Veach and Andy Reid get to work in the offseason, the rest of the NFL better pay attention. Because right now, the Chiefs are making move after move, and it is genuinely insane to watch. Let's start with the elephant in the room, Patrick Mahomes, the greatest quarterback of his generation, the man who built this dynasty. He's coming off a torn ACL and LCL that ended his 2025 season in Week 15. The clock is ticking on his recovery. Nobody knows for certain if he'll be ready for Week 1. That is a massive question mark hanging over everything. So what do the Chiefs do? Do they sit back and wait? No. They go get Justin Fields. That's right. The Chiefs traded for Justin Fields from the New York Jets, a quarterback with electric athleticism, a serious arm, and a massive chip on his shoulder. Just in case Mahomes isn't ready, Kansas City now has a guy who can actually run an offense. That is not a backup plan. That is a bold statement. But they weren't done, not even close. The Chiefs looked at their running back situation, which last season was honestly a disaster, and they went out and signed the reigning Super Bowl MVP at running back, Kenneth Walker III, fresh off winning a Lombardi Trophy with the Seattle Seahawks. 3 years, over $43 million. The guy who forced missed tackles at one of the highest rates in the entire NFL last season. The guy who makes defenders look silly in the open field. He is now in Kansas City. Think about that. When Mahomes comes back healthy and Kenneth Walker is running the ball next to him, that offense is going to be terrifying. And then there's Travis Kelce, 36 years old. Some people thought retirement was coming. Some people thought his time was finally up. The Chiefs brought him back, multi-year deal, because Mahomes needs his guy. And Kelce, even at 36, still led the entire Chiefs team in targets, receptions, yards, and touchdowns last year. He is still that guy. But the Chiefs weren't just building offense. They saw the holes on defense, too. They lost their 2 top corners. Trent McDuffie went to the Rams in a blockbuster trade. Jalen Watson followed him. The secondary needed new blood fast. So they signed safety Alohi Gilman away from the Baltimore Ravens. 3 years, nearly $25 million. A physical, versatile defender who can do a little bit of everything. And they brought in cornerback Kader Kohou from the Dolphins to add more competition in the secondary. On the defensive line, Chris Jones is still there, still a monster. And now they added Sione Tonga, a run stopper who Jones himself personally hyped up on social media. When Chris Jones calls someone a dog, you take notice. Oh, and did I mention the Chiefs also hold 2 first-round picks in the upcoming 2026 NFL Draft, including the 9th overall pick? That hasn't happened since they drafted Mahomes himself. So here's where we are. A team that just had the worst season of the Mahomes era. A team that lost their franchise quarterback mid-season. A team that watched their entire cornerback group walk out the door. And somehow, they look more loaded heading into 2026 than most teams that made the playoffs last year. Kenneth Walker, Justin Fields as insurance, Kelce staying, new defenders, cap space cleared, 2 first-round picks. The Chiefs aren't dying, they're reloading. And if Mahomes comes back healthy, and all signs say he will, then every single team in the AFC needs to start worrying right now. because this is what Kansas City does. They fall, they get back up, and then they come back harder than before. The dynasty isn't over. It might just be getting started again.